Riddle me this, dear viewers. How do you get better at flying? Why, you practice, of course. How do you practice when you don't have a plane? You role play. Like a nerd! What's good, people? Agent Juice reporting for duty. In my particular case, I can only really afford to go flying, physically flying, once a week. And of course, part of launching this channel is to help that out. And you can help me too by checking out these great products. Got to do that little plug there. But the point is, until I can afford to actually go to more lessons, I have to find a way to still practice what I can. Fortunately, there's this great technique known as chair flying that a lot of aviators swear by. Now, obviously, chair flying is no substitute for the real thing, because there are certain maneuvers that you just have to be able to do in real time in a real aircraft. But there's a lot of these little things that you can practice that doesn't even need to have you be in the air in order for you to really understand and intuit. So what do you need to chair fly? Well, the first part is obviously the chair. The second part you need is a printout of the cockpit of the plane that you're training in. Truth be told, since I'm being on a little bit of the frugal side, all I do is look up the cockpit picture on the internet and just put it on my desktop screen, which is right here, and I'll just use that. The second thing you need is a good checklist, because I think this is the key part of chair flying. Finally, I would actually recommend also practicing your comms, right? Your communication with ATC. Now, how do you do that? Well, there's this lovely site called liveatc.net. Look up the frequencies of the towers that you communicate with, and you can listen in to the communications in real time. I gotta tell you, it's a godsend as far as helping me practice my communications. So you got your tools, right? You got your checklist, you got your chair, you got your ATC set up, and you got your cockpit picture. So what do? Well, this is where the role play comes in. You go through your checklist and you pretend that your plane is right in front of you. And you read through this meticulous checklist. I would even recommend at this point standing up and pretending that you're walking around your little plane as you're going pedo tube. Oh yes, uncover and check. And so, you're gonna look like an absolute fool going through this, but the point is that you are going through the checklist one by one, line by line, and it is now being programmed into your muscle memory. So yes, you pretend to walk around your plane and you look at your wings and your flaps and you do everything, and then you pretend to sit back in your chair, and that of course is where your cockpit picture comes in, because now you gotta fiddle with your instruments. So you fiddle with your instruments, you start up your pretend plane, and now here's where the live ATC comes in, because you have to request your permission to actually go up and taxi to the runway. So here I am in my pretend headset, and of course before I ask for clearance, I do have to get to the ATIS so I can tell them that I have the weather information before I take off. Interesting thing is, of course, Live ATC actually has the ATIS frequencies on the airports that you will train in. They definitely have it for mine. In this case, let's pretend that we listen to it and we write down all the little notes about, skies clear this and winds at 120 at 8 that. And this is information hotel. So we have that all written down, and now we are ready to communicate with our make-believe ground control. For the duration of this chair fly, I believe it would be pertinent to show you how I do my chair flying through a normal pattern work using the power of computers. To start off, we see us here at the southwest corner using my fun little icon that of course you can get as a t-shirt. As stated before, we have our weather information of hotel, and we are going to ask ground control to go ahead and taxi us to runway 18 left and right in this particular instance. And so of course we make our little call, and it'll sound something like this. Generic ground control, this is Cherokee 69er Alpha Juliet Alpha, located at the southwest corner. We are requesting taxi to runway 18 right with hotel.
Cherokee 69 Alpha Juliet Alpha, generic ground control, taxi to runway 18 right via Alpha and Charlie.
Taxiing to runway 18 right via Alpha Charlie, Cherokee 69 Alpha Juliet Alpha. As we make our little run up, this is actually now our chance to check the other instruments on our plane as according to our checklist. This thing can include stuff like the brakes, so you're going up and you go, You stop right here, you know, just to make sure that your plane doesn't roll off the runway when you finally land. That would be terrible. But of course, you can also do other things, such as checking your instruments that are based on the movement of the plane. This is things like checking that your magnetic compass swings freely left and right as you're going up. This can also check, of course, your heading indicator, and of course, that lovely little turn coordinator with the little ball that you make swing to the left and to the right. Now that you're here, you of course go through the run-up procedures as is printed in your checklist. And once you have all that all hunky-dory and good to go, it is time to go ahead and contact the actual tower that's going to take care of throwing you around in the air. Generic tower, this is Cherokee 69er Alpha Juliet Alpha, holding short at runway 18 right at Charlie, requesting takeoff for, in this case, we're going to go ahead and do the left closed traffic, so we are requesting left closed traffic. Oh, but what's this? In order to actually do left closed traffic, we have to deal not with runway 18 right, but 18 left. So, in my case, what usually happens is the following call from tower.
Cherokee 69er Alpha Juliet Alpha, generic tower, cross runway 18 right via Charlie, hold short runway 18 left at Charlie, switch frequency to...
Oh, I don't know, let's make up something.
800.85.
Cross, runway 18 right, via Charlie, hold short, runway 18 left, at Charlie, switch frequencies to the one I said, 800.85, Alpha Juliet Alpha. So I, of course, cross the runway, and then I hold short right here. I switch my frequency in order to talk to the other tower. Other generic tower, Cherokee 69er Alpha Juliet Alpha, holding short at runway 18 left, at Charlie, requesting takeoff for left closed traffic.
Cherokee 69er Alpha Juliet Alpha, other generic tower, cleared for takeoff for left closed traffic.
And then I'll say something like, thank you, Patrick. And no, I won't say that. I'll say, cleared for takeoff, left closed traffic, Alpha Juliet Alpha. Of course, we refer to our proper checklists and documents and follow the takeoff procedures for the aircraft. And so here we go. Shaw, we're flying. So, you know, you're having this nice leisurely fly down your downwind leg. And if you're the only one up in the sky, at some point, the tower is going to go ahead and call up to you once again, saying something like,
Cherokee Alpha Juliet Alpha, you are clear for the option, runway 18 left.
oh wait, that's runway 18 right voice, sorry. I forgot Patrick is runway...
Cherokee Alpha, Juliet Alpha, you are cleared for the option for runway 18 left.
And so I'll say, clear for the option, runway 18 left, Alpha Juliet Alpha. And the cool thing about chair flying is that since here we are just playing around with this goofy little D&D board that I made up, you can at any point just stop dead, flip through your checklist, double check everything, make sure you're doing everything right, and then just continue. Because you don't want to be doing that too much when you're flying and you have to do a lot of stuff, because then you start oversaturating yourself and you know, you're biting off more than you can chew, and you really don't want to be doing that when you're flying an aircraft. Since we were clear for the option, let's go ahead and just do a touch and go. Once again, remember your procedures for doing the immediate landing and then immediate takeoff. So I come in, I take it nice and slow, I do everything that I'm supposed to be doing, I land the aircraft, and then of course I go ahead and put that full throttle once again, flaps all the way down, and I go ahead and take off. Whoosh! And we're back into the pattern, flying our upwind leg, about to go into our cross here. Oh, but what's this? All of a sudden we have whoopsie, wrong layer. Planes! All of a sudden, we have planes that have just arrived into our downwind leg. And all of a sudden, you got to worry about other planes in your pattern sequence. ATC is going to, of course, let you know about certain things.
Cherokee Alpha, Juliet Alpha, number 3 in sequence, traffic ahead, confirm in sight, cleared for the option, runway 18 left.
And so, of course, you know, I have the responsibility to make sure I can see all of these planes. And so, if I can see them, let's go ahead and keep it simple. I can, in fact, see them. I'll also go ahead and say, traffic in sight, number 3, cleared for the option, runway 18 left. I'll go ahead and make this a full stop, Alpha Juliet Alpha, because we want to go ahead and practice our taxi backs or something like that. In this case, it is only when he physically is once again at that 45-degree angle aft of my wingage that I go ahead and turn that base, unless there is something else that's going on. Of course, ATC might say something else, something like extend your downwind, in which case you're going to have to go further down. That's happened to me before, but let's keep it simple. Let's go ahead and go for me landing. This guy's out of the way now, and I'm coming down, and oh, but what's this? Oh no, there's a monkey on the runway. Oh, the monkey's on the runway. Oh no, what happens when the monkey's on the runway? Pretend he's on the runway. He's the same color as the runway, and he doesn't really pop out. What do you do if you need to bulk a landing? right? You can't make this landing because there's a monkey on the runway. Well, there are procedures for your bulk landings, as they are called. I followed those procedures, and of course I have to communicate to ACT, letting them know going around Alpha Juliet Alpha. So I do my going around procedures safely. I can't land because of that monkey. Okay, so we no longer have to worry about a monkey. Okay, so we fly our base leg. And here's another interesting thing that's happened to me before. I've had air traffic control tell me,
The Cherokee Alpha Juliet Alpha make right 360 for traffic spacing.
you know, because maybe I'm really close to this guy. So, okay, right 360, Alpha Juliet Alpha, I will say back. And literally that is just a right turn, 360 degrees fly in a circle. Because that means that I will end up back in my first place and he will be further along, thus spacing us nice and easy for traffic. Anyway, let's go ahead and land, once again going through our safety procedures as is in our checklist, and we go ahead and land. And this is our full stop because the monkey's off the runway. So as a full stop, since we're turning off here at Gulf, we're going back to our little southwest corner to park our little butts. And so we get clear of runway 18 left, and we hold short of runway 18 right at Gulf. And of course we make our call to the tower, letting them know that we are clear of runway 18 left at Gulf. We are holding short at runway 18 right at Gulf, and we want to go ahead and taxi our little butts back to the southwest corner, in which case they're gonna tell you to, you know, cross runway 18 right, and then tell you to contact ground control once you do that. So of course you listen to them, you let them know, you switch to ground, say, yo, I want to go back, fool. 69er Alpha Juliet Alpha, taxi back to the southwest corner via Alpha, and have yourself a nice day. Read back your instruction to say taxi to southwest corner, via Alpha, have yourself a good old day and a nice cup of coffee. And so, you know, you drive yourself nice and easy, you know, always looking left and right, making sure that planes aren't turning off and running into you, because you must always keep your head on a swivel. Even though ATC is making sure that planes don't smack into each other, you are the pilot in command in this particular instance, and it's up to you to make sure that your plane is safe. And just like that, you have successfully chair flown. And in this case, you've also successfully D&D dungeon map flown. Look at you. You little champ. Look at you. Look at you all happy. You dumb little orange. As I said before, there's no substitute for the real thing. But by going through your checklist multiple times, a lot of the stuff is going to feel familiar. And believe me, learning how to fly is so much less stressful when there's a lot of stuff that you've been working on and these things no longer become a factor in your headspace, right? It's all muscle memory. So now you can really focus on what you need to focus on when you need to focus on it. So what about you? Do you have any little tips and tricks of your own when you chair fly? Do you have any suggestions for me or anyone else who might be reading in the comment section down below? Definitely go ahead and write that down and give me that engagement. But until then, I thank you for spending this time with me. Here's to your clear skies, here's to your smooth landings, and until next time, ooh, deuces.